Golf Weekly. I am your host, Daniel Court, joined by Chris Hendricks with the Golf Store Outlet.
Good to be here, man.
Good to see you, buddy.
Always a pleasure.
It's a little different this week. It's a little kind of dark in the studio.
Yeah, we're kind of missing somebody right here in the middle.
Our good buddy Tremblay. I just said it was a little darker in the studio without that shine
on
off
the dome.
off that Mr. Clean head he's got.
That's right.
Buddy, if you're watching, we miss you. Chris will be back with us next week, so we'll look forward to getting caught up with him and the JPGA and find out what those guys are doing.
Yeah, because they're going to Kiowa.
Yeah, I think they're at Kiowa this coming week, and
it's be interesting to see how they do.
They're used to dragging home a lot of pewter and crystals, so we'll see what they do. I'm sure that nothing will change there. We're going to do our week in review together.
Okay.
Lots to talk about.
Yes.
Most notably, I think, is Phil Mickelson's almost record-setting performance at the TPC Waste Management in Phoenix. What are your thoughts on Phil's performance?
Played great. I mean, 60 first round, missed the putt for 59. As we talked about earlier, second round, you know, he was doing great, no bogeys till he hit 18. Shot 125 on the first two, tied the record. So, I mean,
the 36-hole record.
36-hole record.
Yeah, you know, in classic Phil form, you know, it's almost like he brings you right to the top, to the point of ecstasy, and then he lets you go.
Lets you go. Yep.
You know, it's just so classic of, you know, really the roadmap that's been his career.
I'm going to say his driving, though, was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no doubt about it. He made notes all over the place that he loved the new driver, and that was his club. And I mean, he let loose. I mean, he pulled it out on every single hole. He didn't hold back. He's never afraid anyway. I mean, he always goes for whatever it is he needs to go for. But I mean, he just killed the driver.
He killed it, and he hit it in play. You know, I think he posted like a T51 at Torrey Pines.
Right.
So, you know, nobody was expecting him to come out and do this. But he and Butch had a little tweak. He got this new driver in his bag. And I've heard it often said, if Mickelson can hit the driver in play, he's probably the best.
But hands
he's
down.
nearly impossible to beat. Tiger has to be. And you know, this is a good segue, moving away from Phil winning in Arizona. They're going on to Pebble, where he had that historic 64 playing in Tiger's group last year to win that championship going away.
It's going to be interesting to see what he does at Pebble.
It is, but I think that tournament proved, you know, that he not only can play with Tiger, but anybody in the world. When Phil's hitting the ball in play, he's so good around the greens. He's a force to be reckoned with.
That's right.
He's just got all the shots.
He's got the short game. He's got the chip in, the sand game, the putting.
I thought it was cool watching he and Snedeker play in the final group together.
Because they're both classy guys, and they're classy guys.
They're great to watch them roll the ball.
Yep.
And I would look for both those guys to have pretty strong seasons.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Pebble Beach, you know, what a history there. Always that takes you back to the days of the Bing Crosby clam bake when that was started.
Right. That was a big pro-am. I mean, everybody that was anybody came out.
Little partying going on.
Yep. And isn't that the one where Dustin
won in 10 and 11 back to back.
Yep.
That's where he had his first.
Well, him, Phil, and Snedeker, Brian Snedeker, are the top three that everybody's put in their favorites to win.
Yeah, if you're an odds maker or you know you like to gamble a little bit, those would be three good picks.
But there will be no Tiger and no Rory.
No Tiger, no Rory. But you know the season starting off with Tiger and Phil back-to-back wins. I think it's just Rory hadn't shown up yet, but it's just a matter of time.
Right.
This is pretty good lead-up stuff heading into the first major of the year, which is at Augusta.
Exactly.
Wouldn't you think?
Definitely. I mean, FedEx points, like we talked about, you've got Snedeker at 782, Brian Gay at 582, Phil Mickelson at 546, Dustin Johnson at 516, and Russell Henley at 515, the rookie. I mean, he's in the top five. Yeah. He's had good showings, good starts in every event, and had a win. So.
Brant Snedeker too, you know, it's hard enough.
It's $11 million man.
Right. I mean, you know, he comes off winning it, and now he's leading it early in the year. I think that just speaks volumes to Brant's development as a player. He's just become so consistent now. He's one of the top ball strikers and definitely one of the top putters.
By far, and you go back and look in the past, guys like Bill Haas that won it didn't live up to his expectations the next year.
Right.
Furyk, I mean, all the other guys that have won it is very, very hard. Yeah. And Snedeker is just on pace like he didn't skip a beat.
Yeah, he looks like he belongs in that seat.
Yep.
Gosh, moving away from tournament golf real quick, probably one of the biggest stories in golf.
Right.
Vijay Singh coming out in Sports Illustrated and admitting that he had taken this deer antler spray, not really knowing that it was a banned substance. What are your thoughts on this? He's meeting with Tim Fincham today, and I think there are going to be some sanctions.
He said that, in the interview that he didn't know that it had it in there. He checked, all the ingredients. The guy that was the maker of it was saying the same thing in another interview on the ESPN radio. So, Vijay's a stand-up guy. Everybody knows him. He's got the work ethic.
Right.
That's the million-dollar question: is did he know or did he not know?
Well, and a lot of guys are coming to Vijay's defense. Why would he go to a Sports Illustrated writer and admit these things?
Exactly.
However, on tour, they basically, I heard Charlie Reimer say it on the Golf Channel, they're basically responsible for three things: showing up on the first tee, making sure their scorecard is correct, and knowing what they're putting in their body.
Exactly.
If Vijay had any idea that this might be a banned substance before he used it, he should have checked that out. So I think it's really going to be interesting to see what the sanctions are. I hear a lot of people saying that he probably won't be playing in Augusta, which will be a big deal for a former champ.
Exactly. That'll be the first time that's ever happened.
Yeah. And it's going to bring up a lot of questions moving forward as to how does the tour actually look at banned substances and what are the penalties involved.
Well, they don't test. That's the one thing. The PGA Tour does not test, so it's kind of, you're going off of somebody's saying or somebody's word, and the inventor of the stuff that he was taking that has a deer antler spray in it was saying that particular substance they're referring to, it's in food and drinks, and everybody drinks it, so your body already has the substance in you. So
seems like everything's banned today, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Well, I understand you got to scoot on to a little clinic?
Little clinic.
A clinic over at Spanish Wells. Well, teach those ladies how to hit the ball, man.
You got it.
Not that they already can't, but a little help never hurt anybody.
That's right.
Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to be joined by a former guest of ours, Stuart Moore, who is the president of the eGolf Tour, which is going to be played here at the Palmetto Hall Championship. We'll be right back.